Welcome to the DeFi Standard. This is Patty XRP.
And Mickey B. Fresh.
Today, we are going to be getting into the CanaryX project that is going to be launching on Songbird Network. Currently, there is an airdrop distribution going on for the CNYX token, which is the CanaryX token. It kind of follows a gamified token model akin to the SafeMoon project, where there are certain basically criteria in how much you can transfer at once and also fees associated with every transfer of the token. From what I understand, this token is meant to build a community around the future CanaryX DAO project, which we'll get into in the second half of this video. So to start off here, CanaryX, they're building a community-owned decentralized infrastructure on what they call the DeFi terra firma. Additionally, going into their white paper here to describe what the CNYX token is, basically they employ a fair system to tax each token transaction using a constant percentage. It redistributes CanaryX rewards to holders to increase its value to its users. To mitigate price inflation risks, it uses an automated regulatory mechanism that gradually reduces total supply proportionally to transaction volume in frequency. So the base of this token is something called a reflector algorithm, which uses programmed intelligence to ensure a fair and consistent passive accumulation based on volume, where tokens are then sent directly to wallet holders. So this is made possible via the use of smart contracts on the Songbird network. And to kind of get into more how this will work, so every time CNYX is transacted with, transferred, bought, sold, etc., a 10% transaction charge is implied on every transaction. This distributes 70% of the tax tokens among all wallets that hold CNYX based on their volume in the wallet, or your share, if you want to call it that. And then additionally, 30% of that transaction charge is burned. So that's the kind of deflationary mechanism that they have. So what this means is, let's say I send 100 CNYX to Mickey, then it will deliver 90 CNYX tokens to Mickey. 7 of those CNYX tokens would be redistributed to everybody else holding CNYX. And then another 3 of the CNYX tokens would be burned from existence. So that's kind of the general idea of how this is going to work. You can see how it's like a gamified token model designed to kind of build a community around this. Additionally, which is interesting because I know Flare Community did a video about this a little while back where, he was concerned about people just dumping, like early investors dumping and everything like that. So I don't think this feature was there when he first made the video, and they've added it since. So I wonder if maybe they kind of came up with it from his video. But to go into it, there's an anti-whale feature. So this prevents transfers that are in excess of 0.2% of the total supply. This is an effort to reduce the risk that a significant portion of the supply is sold in a single transaction. So certainly if somebody, let's say, had 1% of the total supply, they could only sell 20% of their holdings at once based on this anti-whale feature. Now, certainly they could do several successive transactions, but it just can't all happen within one market order. So that's kind of how this token is going to work. It'll give you passive rewards directly to your wallet just for holding it. And to touch on the total supply of and delegations of the token, so there's going to be 1 billion, which have been created on the Songbird network. And 80% of these are being airdropped to the community if you signed up for the airdrop in time, which I believe was on December 12th was the last day to do that. Additionally, 10% is assigned to development of the CanaryX project and 10% assigned to the core team. And these features should affect, like the features we just discussed, would affect their holdings as well. So just take that into account. Additionally, they did have an audit from TechRate, which they do free auditing and then also some paid auditing. I confirmed with the team that they went with the paid audit. They're really, it's not like a super heavy in-depth review, as it's just a smart contract that governs the tokenomics of this specific token. And if you don't know already, every token other than the native Songbird token that's issued on the Songbird network is in fact a smart contract. And many of the tokens allow you to do different interactions with that. And that's kind of why you have to wrap Songbird to be able to delegate, because natively it doesn't have that functionality. TechRate's done a bunch of audits on, what I would call like relatively small projects that are probably more akin to what's going on with CanaryX. So you can check out their website, techrate.org, if you want to get more information on that. Also, the audit is listed on the CanaryX website, which we'll link in the description. And you can come in and see what they passed and what they had issues with. So there's just one thing with a block gas limit, which they describe as a low severity issue here.
So can I just jump in on one thing there with the way they're designing this token with the 10% tax that's on it? So this is to encourage people to hold the token, because this is a project that's going to be rolled out in phases. And Patty's going to go through that in the next section here, how this is just the first phase of building this community-owned decentralized infrastructure. So this is to prevent what you just said in the beginning, the dumping of the token and not just receiving something for free money. It's going to encourage holding the token. And there's a reason behind why you would want to hold the token. So let's get into that now, Patty, on why you would want to hold this token for the next phase of the project and what its real purpose of the CanaryX DAO is.
Yeah, and absolutely. Before we get into, their main plan with this project, which will be the CanaryX DAO, and is a fork of, some of the DAOs you've heard about in the, springing up over the past year, especially Olympus DAO. It could be very speculative to go and utilize something with this kind of model. So, buyer beware and all that stuff, not telling anybody to participate or not participate, just be aware of that. And so moving into this next part is the CanaryX DAO, which is what I'm more particularly excited to learn more about as they kind of start building this out. So their purpose is to build a decentralized reserve currency protocol on the Songbird Network. Each CanaryX DAO token is backed by a basket of assets. And just so you know, this will be a separate token. This is not the Airdrop CNYX token. So CanaryX DAO token is backed by a basket of assets. So it could be Canary dollars, CNYX, liquidity pool tokens, etc., in the CanaryX DAO treasury, giving it an intrinsic value that it cannot fall below. It tries to achieve this by backing every CanaryX DAO token with one canned, which is the Canary dollars that are minted through the Flare Finance loans platform and are equal to $1. And they are not going to peg the CanaryX DAO token to $1, but that's kind of its baseline intrinsic value as it's minted. This means that the value of CanaryX DAO token, although backed by at least $1, is free to increase above this one canned floor price. The price the token rises to above the floor price is determined by the market. And I'll add with this, like if you go and look at the Olympus DAO token, Klima DAO token, the Wonderland Time token, all of those, they're pretty volatile, especially in their early stages. So just be aware of how some of these past projects have operated. And additionally, how can you participate in this? So there are two main strategies for market participants: staking and minting. Stakers can stake their CanaryX DAO tokens in return for more CanaryX DAO tokens, while those who mint provide liquidity pool or Canary dollar tokens in exchange for discounted CanaryX DAO tokens after a fixed period of time before they are released to and owned by the minter. This is referred to as the vesting period. So, Mickey, I'll let you jump in here with this first part if you have anything to add.
Sure. So this is, if you know of Olympus DAO, or if you want more information on understanding this concept, it's probably best just to go right to Olympus DAO and look at how it operates, because this is mirroring similar concepts to what Olympus DAO does and what Klima does and what Wonderland Time does. So what they call minting here is bonding in Olympus DAO and Klima and Time. Now this staking, just to throw out here so everyone knows, the staking rewards are excessively high. We're not talking, you're going to earn 15, 20% staking rewards. You're going to earn thousands of percent APY in the beginning to get the protocol off the ground. We don't know exactly what that's going to be. They haven't defined it. But I do like the design of how they're coming out with an initial token that's just going to build the community. And then the real CanaryX DAO token will come after that. And this, I think, removes some of that airdrop frenzies that we had with Sologenic and other problems with just dumping tokens on the market just to create value for people to come in and then dump. So that token that you do receive is just an initial, basically, stake in the network, and then you'll be able to receive the real CanaryX DAO tokens. And Olympus DAO has been extremely successful over the 9 months that it's been in existence, and it has almost, I believe, almost a $2 to $3 billion market cap at the moment. It's like top 60 coin. So this model has already been proven out, and there's been a ton of forks on it so far, with each fork kind of taking a little different route. And it's nice to see somebody doing this on the Canary Network, Songbird, and you would think eventually this would move to Flare. But for right now, it's nice to see this here being built on the Canary Network. But if you are looking for more details, and this sounds very confusing to you, just reading through here, I would say definitely take a look at Olympus DAO.
Absolutely. And I know you brought up there's like many forks of Olympus DAO. Certainly, some have, had a lot of success and others not so much. So there's many factors that go into, how successful some of these DAOs will be. And, the full details on this one isn't out yet. We're just kind of going through what's available now. So we kind of talk about how can you benefit from CanaryX DAO. So when they mint new CanaryX DAO tokens from the treasury, the majority of which are distributed to the stakers, thus the gain for stakers will come from their auto compounding balances through price exposure, though price exposure remains an important consideration. So I can actually give you an example here is like I've participated in Klima DAO some, and I purchased when it was at not like the highest price, but also not the lowest price. So, it's been extremely volatile. I got in somewhere in the middle and the price continued to fall. However, you do have rebasing, and with Klima, it happens 3 or 4 times daily, depending on the day. So you're having that balance auto compounded relatively quickly over time. And generally, this kind of project and going into it, you want to have, long-term outlooks, as in the beginning, it's going to be extremely volatile of whether you're in profit or not. So I would bring that up. The main benefit for minters comes from price consistency. So minters commit a capital up front and are promised a fixed return at some point in time. That return is in CanaryX DAO tokens, and thus the minter's profit would depend on price of the tokens when the tokens are released to the minter after the vesting period. So minters basically will come in and, like, let's say, Canary dollars are paired with some other asset on FlareX, and you could basically go and provide liquidity. You could bring those LP tokens to the CanaryX DAO. You sell them to the CanaryX DAO in return for a discounted price on their DAO tokens, which you would then go and stake and get kind of the rebasing rewards.
Yeah, so this is protocol owned liquidity. And if you've seen our previous video on DeFi 2.0, this is where the DAO owns their own liquidity. So even if this CanaryX DAO token is going to be trading against, say, Canary Dollar on FlareX, the DAO itself will own that liquidity as the users sell their LP tokens, which represent CanaryX DAO token and Canary Dollar. So they're purchasing that actual liquidity, so they earn the fees that will continuously go through as people swap between each other. So this is DAOs. The rise of DAOs is coming in 2022. So I think everyone should be aware of how DAOs operate and how the different DAOs operate, especially Olympus. We're going to see a lot of this, and we're going to see a lot of different versions of it. And it's great to see this coming to the Songbird Network first here. But it's going to be a very high learning curve for many people who are not used to this. So I think you should just, take it to your time and, not try to understand everything right out the gate. It is a little complex. So there's no rush to learn it right now. Those tokens you're getting doesn't have to do it minting. They don't have to do it staking. They're basically just hold in the meantime.
Yep, absolutely. And so to add on here, they say their team is mostly anonymous, which is pretty common, either anonymous or pseudo anonymous with the teams that have been launching these forks of Olympus. They say they're born from the XRP and Flare community and aim at being a decentralized autonomous organization. They'll update social channels when they get closer to the CanaryX DAO launch. And then additionally, they kind of go into staking and minting, which we covered pretty heavily already, so I won't touch on that. Kind of to wrap this up, I just want to. The airdrop process is going on right now for the CNYX tokens, and it's going to take them a few days from what I've been told. I imagine it has to do with them since they went with like signing up through a bot on Telegram so you could be eligible for the airdrop. And additionally, I believe they have like a special airdrop contract so they can only do so much at once. It's not just like reading token balances like the XFi airdrop and dropping it. It's a little different mechanism, so it takes a little longer for them all to get out there. I would say there's really no rush because there's nowhere to sell these tokens at or anything like that at the moment. So it's really just, if you signed up in time, you should get it over the next few days. It's also holidays. So, take all that into account. I haven't received what I got. Additionally, I'll let people know if you didn't, they did have referrals set up. So, if you had your own referral from signing up and got other people to sign up using your referral, that gives you bonus CNYX tokens. So there will be people that are getting more than just like the base amount if they were able to generate a lot of referrals. Take all that into account. I know the goal is to get CNYX listed on Flare X at some point once they open it up to adding external token listings. Also, I love that they're going to be using the Canary dollar for the DAO, as that's going to bring another use case and also shows you the composability with, Songbird Finance, DeFi, and other projects. So I think that's cool. So yeah, we'll be kind of watching this one to see what happens, see what more information comes out about the DAO. And then right now, if you want, you can transfer CNYX tokens when you get them. They're just not really a market to buy or sell on at this point.
Yeah, and going forward with these CNYX tokens, they're eventually going to be turned into the CanaryX DAO tokens. These are not tokens that you're gonna expect to be seen on exchanges anywhere. Just like Olympus DAO.
Mickey, let me say, so there it's something that you could sell to the treasury in like the minting / bonding process. So they're not necessarily like turned into the CanaryX DAO tokens. You can sell them to the treasury though. So I just wanted to clarify that part.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So when you do receive the actual CanaryX DAO token, which is ultimately the token for the DAO itself, that token would be similar to like Ohm or Klima or Time. You notice that very few, barely any, are traded on centralized exchanges. And there's a reason why that is. Because the rebasing and the staking rewards are so high, there's no reason for any market maker to create a market between those tokens when you're going to rebase and earn 22,000 or 50,000% APY per day. So what you will see is liquidity on Flare X, where the protocol itself, the DAO, owns that liquidity. So if you own the LP tokens, the DAO does, they own that liquidity. So it allows for us to easily swap in and out of them. But these are not going to be tokens that I expect on exchanges. And this is one thing that Patty and I have been beating the drum on and on, is less and less activity is going to go on the exchanges, and more is going to take place right on the networks and on these decentralized exchanges. This is why Flare X on Songbird and the Flare network is going to be so powerful, and even the XRP Ledger DEX, because anyone can interact with them. They're decentralized. Nobody can censor them, and they're permissionless. So that's really where the liquidity will come from. This is very different from trying to get things listed on exchanges. And I've been telling everyone for a while, start moving away from expecting DeFi to take place on a lot of these exchanges. A lot of things that are new, you're going to be able to do everything right on the actual network itself and utilize it from a Web3 wallet like Bifrost, Decent, or MetaMask. So I'm excited about this project, Patty. It's still early. We'll have to see how it comes out, and we'll give the project a chance. and we'll be covering it as it goes, but it's very early days. So let's just wait and see. And as more information comes out, we will cover it. But if you are looking for more, look to Olympus DAO for kind of an idea of what this whole thing is about.
Yeah, they have tons of documentation, which I can throw their docs in the description as well. And there's some great videos on YouTube covering how Olympus DAO works. So highly suggest looking that stuff up as
It
well.
is, yeah. The last thing is just it's an interesting concept, creating a token that's backed by intrinsically by stable coins or by other tokens, and then having a premium. So we think of Bitcoin, okay, it's backed by nothing. So creating a token like this, it has some intrinsic value. For example, like Klima is backed by carbon credits. So having that backing behind it, and the treasury has the ability, the DAO treasury, to create revenue and drive profits, and then use their treasury assets to drive more revenue. And then this DAO could make a deal with another DAO. And then this is the kind of future that we're looking to in crypto and in DeFi. So now's the time to kind of learn about DAOs, understand where we're going, because we are moving farther and farther away from 2017 and 2018 at such a rapid pace. So now's the time to learn and educate yourself about the tech, because if you don't educate yourself and don't learn about the tech, you're going to get left behind.
Absolutely. So that's going to wrap up today's episode on the CanaryX token and the future DAO around it. So this is the DeFi standard. I'm Patty XRP.
And I'm Mickey B. Fresh.
And we're out. See y'all.